Hi, that was TriadMix number 12 featuring the music. We started that set with Luis Mora from Costa Rica, great tune titled Cada Vez, which means every time. Followed by Katja Rickerman, who appeared on my previous shows. She's a saxophonist for Rod Stewart, great track, Rod Stewart track, Do You Think I'm Sexy? And that last track was Attila Molnar, Secret Places. Yes. PromoteTheMusic.com, Secret Place. Hey, I'm getting some feedback. We're going HD. Not easy for everybody to receive that stream on a slow connection, but the good news is you'll be able to review the video archive for sure. But stick around. Hopefully your connection will be better. We don't want to compromise on the quality we're putting out here because very few people are going high definition on their stream, and we want to do that. All right. We're going to talk about vision, mission, how you can participate, how you benefit as a music lover, as an artist, and you know how we put it all together in the coming months at PromoteTheMusic.com, right? And one of the biggest issues that we see in the industry for the last decade, well, you know what, I was reflecting, it's more than a decade, I'll explain in a moment, is the epidemic situation of generations that think music is free, right? And it can be downloaded for free, and of course it is. And so that's, I believe that's a tsunami effect, you know, that you and I can't stop in this lifetime. And I'm addressing the artists, but also I'm addressing the music lovers, and we can do something about this because it's that phenomena is robbing the artists from tremendous revenue. So what can we do about it? And I've been thinking about this for a long, long time. In fact, for more than a few years. I remember in the year 2000, I used to meet once a week with Munir Dumay out of Tampa Bay when I lived there, and we used to mastermind, you know, what could we do online? In the year 2000, the online world was very different than what we see today. I mean, so we were already, you know, envisioning, if that's a word, what could be. And what could be is happening now. But we were talking about the dilemma the artists are in. And so, you know, before I tell you the potential solution, you know, like our motto here is, what if we did things differently, right? So let's always keep an open mind about doing things differently. So how do we deal with the free download and the fact, the dilemma, the tsunami effect, and how the artists are losing revenues? Well, there's I guess, a few options, right? The artists especially, mostly the artists, you can get frustrated, you can get angry, you can get upset. That's one option. That kind of energy usually it's not, you know, it doesn't foster creativity and doesn't bring about solutions. But the other option is, hey, we can go after the fan base and sue them, and that's happened in the past. And not a great plan because, you know, what's the number one asset for a musician? You know, I've asked that question often in interviews with musicians over the last several years. And what's their number one asset? And often they say it's their music, right? And I say, no, it's your fan base. Your fan base is your number one asset. It really is. Think about it. Without the fan base, the music doesn't get anywhere. So are we going to, you know, should we go after the fan base? Well, you know, the internet is not... you know, let me share. I was thinking about this the other day, and while I'm making a few transitions here, bear with me. I was thinking about it. Has the free downloads dilemma, you know, been part of our world only since the internet? I don't think so. I remember when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, I mean, once a week, every Saturday morning, I'd take my little stack of albums, and I'd take a walk over to my buddy Mark's place, and I'd drop off these albums, and he'd give me some albums, and then I'd go back home, and I had an 8-track recorder then, and I would record them. You know, and prior to that, I mean, when I was younger, I remember I used to, and I'm sure I'm the only person in the world who's ever done that, I used to take my little AM radio with a little microphone with my little Philips cassette recorder and record music off there, and then my mom would say, hey, come on, it's time for dinner. And then, oh God, my mom would be on the recording. And one day I got it, oh, I can plug in a little wire directly into the earphone jack on the radio, and then plug it into the microphone input on the little cassette recorder and record. So I'm sure I'm the only one who's ever done that. But bottom line is that music has been downloaded for free for just about ever, right? So what do we do about it? Well, I think the first thing we need to do is we need to think differently about this entire process, because that's not going to go away. So what can we do? I think number one, we need to bring the musicians and the fans together for an emotional connection, an emotional reason for being. We build a community of higher consciousness. That's the first thing we must do. Do you think that's a good idea? I think so, because once you build a relationship, I don't think that fans will deliberately want to violate the rights of the artists, but it starts with the relationship. You know, what's the number one currency in the world? You know, people often say, oh, the euro, the Japanese yen. No, the number one currency in the world is influence. Well, how do you build influence? Well, you got to build a relationship. You know, how do you get things done rapidly? How do you come together with an idea? So I think this is what we're proposing. Let's explore the possibility of building a community of higher consciousness individuals who are going to want to work together. And that's why it's important to consider something that the industry hasn't done. You know, reward the music lover as well, emotionally, spiritually, and financially for their efforts, their commitment. And it's all about value creation, isn't it? We got to create more value for the music lovers, and we'll talk about that later on the show. How the TriadMix creates more value, and from a marketing perspective, oh my goodness, how the indie artist is going to get tremendous marketing mileage out of it. All right? So here's the thought. New thought. What if we did things differently? Instead of trying to sell CDs, instead of trying to sell MP3s, let's ride the wave of the free download phenomena. Think about this. What if, by giving away the music, you could make more money? Wow, what a concept. And I know it's going right to your brain saying, well, how are you going to do that? See, the how-to is not as important. Mind you, all the how-tos are planned out. That's what we're working towards, the grand launch of Promote the Music in February, the official launch. But there is a way, and I'll explain in more detail. Not all the details will be here forever, but I'm going to give you the concept, knowing that everything's being organized behind the scenes, that we can do it. And I'll give you some examples on how this impacts the bottom line, the financial bottom line of the artist. I mean, you won't be able to sleep when you start looking at the potential, all right? So let's recap. How do we overcome the free download phenomena, the generation of people who think music should be free? Instead of fighting it, you ride the wave. And we generate revenues a little differently. And we generate more revenues than ever before for the indie artists. And let me give you the great news. The indie artists at promotethemusic.com, to ride the wave, the tsunami, and transform that into financial stability, you would have to make a commitment of sending us one MP3, just one MP3. And here's the goal. Here's part of my mission, is to help the artists earn a minimum of $48,000 a year. I'll explain that in more detail a little later throughout the show. All right? So, community of higher consciousness. We don't get upset. We do everything with love energy. We change the paradigm of trying to sell CDs and MP3s, right? And we learn how to give the music away differently to generate revenues and multiply those revenues. Again, I will expand upon that. All right? It's a different way of thinking. Uncomfortable. One of the biggest challenges, and we're going to play some music in a moment, one of the biggest challenges we're going to have as we're moving into a new era, and let's talk about a new era. The biggest challenge we're going to have is this. It's not learning new things. All right? How we're wired here with these neuron structures in our brain is unlearning the old, unlearning, getting out of the comfort zone. And so learning the new is not the deal. It's unlearning the old way. That's going to be the biggest challenge. But the good news is we're building a community of higher consciousness individuals here, some experts in the field of human potential. That's the industry I was in for 21 years. And we're going to put it together to help you adapt to change. Talking about change, I don't know if you caught I think it was July or August, Ford announced they're no longer putting CD players in their automobile. Wow. Is there a shift? Yes. From, phonograph to 8 tracks to Philip cassettes to the vinyl to CD to MP3. Everything's about to change again. We better adapt. Let's ride the wave. That's the community we're building here. So collectively, we can work together and keep asking the question, what if we did things differently? All right? let's have a look what's going on in chat, if I can see some of the chats here. And all right, Edwina Goody says, you're looking good, sounding great, Bobby. Love and best wishes for a fantastic inaugural show. All right, thank you so much for that, coming out of the UK. Incidentally, she's the one who introduced me to Attila Molnar months ago. Just love that when the music lovers introduces me to some new music. We're going to have some call-ins, by the way. We're going to be calling several personality of the industry, some indie artists, a visionary. By the way, there's a humanitarian cause that we're going to talk about today that's going to drive, I hope, well, it drives me emotionally to wanting to do this. I hope it's going to drive and stir your soul in wanting to be part of promotethemusic.com, really get involved. And my goal today is to present enough information so you can make a sensible, logical decision to join us either as an indie artist or as a music lover. All right? So let's play some more music. Oh, this is good because, again, I've been blessed to meet some incredible musicians just recently, and I'll recap the set in a moment, as far as who you're about to hear. But this is a pretty funky set. We're going to really mix it up, and instead of me telling you about it, let's do this. Why don't we? All right, so here we go.
Get ready, because we're going to mix it up again, and then mix it up some more with smooth jazz, funky jazz, funk, soul, dance, R&B, electronic, and soulful hip-hop right here on promotethemusic.com with Bobby D.
Yeah, I got my horn. You want me to play? You sure? You can handle it? All right, you got it.
Well, I'm going out tonight. I'm gonna make sure your night's all right. Oh yeah, funk it up. You know what, funk it up. Oh, I'm gonna play a little bit on the horn. Then I'm gonna funk it up. You know what, funk it up. I'm gonna sing a little bit for you. I wanna funk it up. You know what, funk it up. I wanna funk it up. I wanna give it up. I wanna make sure you're moving down. I wanna funk it up. I wanna give it up. I wanna give it everything I've got. Funk it up. Oh, I see you like it. Oh yeah. Come on. I know you don't think a girl can play, but I'll show you every which show way. I got my big horn, my little one too. I'm gonna rock the world for you. I wanna put it up. I wanna get really funky for you now. Come on, baby. Oh, I wanna see your hands in the air.
Hello everybody, this is Ava Lemert and you are listening to my single on promotethemusic.com.
Oh yeah. I'm flowing now.